The month of January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Now, we've all seen movies like Taken or heard about what a big issue human trafficking is, but how many of us truly understand the term or can even relate to it? With us today to teach us more is Larry Gamboa. He is the Supervisory Special Agent for Homeland Security Investigations. Thanks for joining us, Larry.
Thanks for having me.
So first and foremost, let's start with the basics. What is human trafficking, and is it different from human smuggling?
Yes, human trafficking is different from human smuggling. Many times the human trafficking and human smuggling get confused for each other. The terms get used interchangeably. And in fact, there are two different crimes, two different laws. Trafficking is the exploitation of a person for the purposes of forced labor. Human smuggling is essentially the illegal transportation of an undocumented individual across the border into the country.
Both can be very serious, but human trafficking is one that's very harmful to the individuals that are the victims of these crimes. Now, tell me, how is Homeland Security Investigations involved in addressing particularly human trafficking?
We have dedicated human trafficking groups in every single field office throughout the country. We're involved in over 120 human trafficking task forces, and we also have numerous HSI attaché offices throughout the world to work with our foreign law enforcement counterparts in combating human trafficking.
So this is a very big movement, something that clearly requires a lot of investigation, a lot of work to get to the root of the evil. However, not necessarily something we can expect to disappear anytime soon. So it's a constant work. Now tell me, how big of a problem is human trafficking, and what are some of the dangers that come along with it?
Human trafficking is a major problem. I think it's estimated that there's around 40 million trafficking victims throughout the world at any given time. Women and girls are disproportionately affected by sex trafficking, and they account for 99% of the victims. In the United States, we estimate 18 to 20,000 people are being trafficked every year. Just to give you an idea of how HSI is involved, last year HSI made approximately 2,200 human trafficking related arrests. And from those, we identified approximately more than 400 trafficking victims and who were offered critical assistance and help after their ordeal. Locally in this area, we account for about 10% of all human trafficking related arrests in the United States. We're second only to Los Angeles.
And we hear the stories, I see it on my Facebook feed. Hey, someone approached me in Walmart and tried to catch me while I was putting my child in the car, or to distract me towards their vehicle. There's so many different ways for them to approach you. And most of the time we're so distracted, we're not prepared for a situation like that. So tell me, how, as a general public, how can we help you? How can we get involved? And how can we be aware, especially as women, of our surroundings to prevent this from happening to our loved ones?
The best way that the public can help is educate themselves on human trafficking, educate themselves on how to recognize and the signs of human trafficking, and how to report those occurrences to law enforcement. One of the challenges that we have as law enforcement and as HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, is public awareness. And through our DHS Blue campaign, we try to educate the public on what the signs of human trafficking are and how to report it and what to recognize. That's why Human Trafficking Awareness Month is so important, because it helps us get the word out. It helps us educate the public. It helps us teach them what they need to look for. And it opens their eyes a little bit to realize that this is happening, and it's happening in your city. It's happening in your town. And it can happen in restaurants or construction sites or nightclubs.
Do you have 2 or 3 tips to share with us, the things that can keep us aware on a daily basis to prevent something from happening to ourselves?
Yeah, I think some of the primary indicators of human trafficking that you can look for are people who maybe have restricted freedom of movement, signs of physical abuse, lack of control over their own money, maybe non-social. Someone is always with them, doesn't allow them to socialize with other people. Signs of physical abuse or injury also.
Where can we go for help if we are victims or if we know someone who is a victim of human trafficking?
you can reach your local law enforcement office, especially if it's an emergency or if it's an issue that needs to be addressed right away. We also have our human trafficking tip line.
Well, Larry, we appreciate you taking the time aside to educate us for Human Trafficking Awareness Month. It is a big issue. It's all around us, especially in our hometown. So we want to make sure that we are helping raise awareness and helping prevent this from happening to ourselves or anyone we know. Thank you so much for your time.